Okay, pineapple and ginger kombucha, take 5. It's early morning, people walk by, we have Shih Tzus, they love to bark, so hopefully I can get through this without having a symphony of dog barking. Basically today what I'm making is a pineapple ginger kombucha. I've already brewed the tea overnight, but I'm going to kind of go over that process. And what I used actually, pineapple rind, including the top. So you basically take the rind off, take the top, pull out the core, you put all that in your pan, add some ginger root, depending on how strong you want the ginger taste. The ginger gives it a nice snap to the flavor, and obviously has a really good health benefit as well. You bring that to a boil, cover it, let it sit overnight. What I'm using is pickle jars. These are great for brewing kombucha. It's a nice, cheap way to do it without, you don't spend $50, $100. You just buy a jar of pickles, eat the pickles, clean it out. When cleaning these in between your brews, be careful not to use soap, or if you do, make sure you get all the residue out. Most of the soaps can cause an issue with your ferment, killing the bacteria and yeast. So instead use like a white vinegar with some water, scrub it out, and you'll be fine. So I've already put in a heaping cup of sugar in each. I used to brew the tea with the sugar, but that would create a really sticky mess on the stove sometimes. If you weren't watching it closely and it started to sputter out or whatnot. So now I just put in the sugar in the jars. Make sure you stir it up really good and get it dissolved before you put it away. So I'm going to kind of just use a little drain filter here. There'll be some little stuff that'll go through, but that's quite all right, as long as we get the big stuff out. So pour about half this in each. It'll be about half full, and I'm just going to add some water because it's kind of concentrated. If you want it a little bit more stronger tasting, you could maybe add some green tea to it as well, just some green tea bags. I've also added another variation of this is some fresh basil. Add some fresh basil to the pan, and that gives it a nice snap, unique flavor as well. I've even used lemon balm too. I grow lemon balm. You can see it's about half full. I'll take some water here, filtered, which I'm going to have to add some more. But fill it to about there. And from there, I'm going to stir it up. Go ahead and set this to refill here. See the sugar kind of floating around. I just want to make sure there's not a big pile of it on the bottom. If there's just a little bit on the bottom, will be fine. That'll dissolve. I had one time where I didn't really stir it well, and then I had some sugar chunks on the bottom, even after it brewed. So the Scoby will take care of most of it. From here, I have my beautiful Scoby. If you don't know what that is, it's a symbiotic colony of bacteria and yeast. Essentially, that's what brews the Scoby. It does get kind of ugly over time. If you get a nice fresh Scoby, it'll look nice and white and pretty. But they get a little uglier over time, and they grow. So a lot of times I do separate some of the Scoby and basically just put it in the compost bin. So you see I was just adding a little bit of the extra in there, and I have some of the kombucha from the last brew. I'm going to add some of that to there. So you can see I don't have it filled all the way to the top. I have some breathing room, because what will happen is with the carbonation, that'll push up. So if you have it too full, it's going to kind of spill over. It's going to create a problem. So you want some breathing room so that the Scoby can kind of form a little dome, but you don't want it coming out of the jar. Then from there, use this coffee filter, rubber band, and then I'm going to set this in a closet, nice dark space, cool space, for depending on how strong I want it. About 3-4 days. If I want it really strong, about 5 days. That's just going to sit there and brew. When it's done, I'll pull this off. I'll carefully remove the Scoby and then filter the kombucha into jars. Here I do quart jars. One of the tricks I learned to give it a little extra carbonation is add just a little bit of sugar in the bottom before you pour the kombucha into the jars, and let it sit out on the counter 45 minutes, hour, 2 hours if you want it really kind of build up pressure. Basically it's going to carbonate, so that little extra boost of sugar is going to give it something extra to feed on, and it's going to carbonate. Put the lids on really tight. These are plastic ones, so they're not going to seal real big, but there's still going to be some carbonation in there. And then once I feel that there's been enough time passed, I'll put them in the fridge and everyone can enjoy them. If you don't have a Scoby, you can make one, or you can order one. If you need to order one, let me know. I can send a link for a place that a lady that makes them, where I actually got mine. I had made mine before, and then for a time I quit brewing for 2 or 3 months, and I tried to make one, and at the time for whatever reason it failed, so I ordered one. It was a really healthy Scoby, so you can do that. There are videos on how to make your own. I can make a video for that later, but in any case, that's it. I hear my dogs barking, so that sounds like my signal. Thank you.